Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to cut and sew this beautiful maxi dress with front slit that you are seeing on your screen. If that's something you're interested in, keep on watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and please make sure you watch this video till the end. So guys, this is the African print that I'll be using to make the maxi dress. I have 6 yards of fabric here. So I'll be cutting out the down part first, which is the pleated area. That's what I'll be cutting out first. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that now. So guys, in order to get the length of my pleat, so our full length is 58. Then I will be subtracting the shoulder to waist measurement, which is also known as the body's measurement, or it's also known as half length measurement. So which is 16. So I will subtract 16 from 58. So I'll be measuring out 42 inches. But I'm not going to be measuring out exactly 42. I will be adding 2 inches seam allowance to it, because I'll be folding the down part, and I'm also using some allowance to join the half length plus the pleat together. So altogether I'll be cutting out 44 inches length. Now, to know the amount of measurement I will be using to pleat my dress, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to multiply this hip measurement, which is the 42. I'm going to multiply it by 3. So here I have 126. So I'll be cutting out 126 inches wide and then 44 inches length. So I'm going to explain this again. For you to know the amount of measurement you're going to cut out for your pleat, you're going to multiply that person's hip measurement by 3. So in this video, this person's hip measurement is 42 inches. It's 42 inches. So I'm going to multiply this 42 inches by 3, which gives us 126 inches. So I'll be cutting out this 126 inches out on my fabric. And then the length I'll be cutting out is 44. So that means I'll be cutting out 123 inches wide and then 43 inches length. So I'm going to show you guys how to cut that out on your fabric now. So what I'm going to do is just to open this up. And then I'll start measuring out my 126 inches wideness. So I'll be making use of this, my long tape measurements. If you don't have your long tape measurement, it's fine. I'm going to show you how to achieve that. So I'll start from the edge of my fabric, and then I go all the way . So as you can see that this my tape measurement is not up to 126. So what I'm going to do is to mark down where my 120 reach. I'm going to mark it down. And then I will continue my measurement. So then I will measure out my remaining 6 inches. So even if your tape is 60 inches, you stop at where your 60 inches is, you mark it down, you continue measuring it until you get your desired measurement that you are working with. So what I'm going to do now is to cut out my 120 inches from this fabric. So in order for it to become much more easier for me, this is one side, I'm going to measure 126 inches on the down part as well, so I can get my accurate measurement when I'm cutting it. So now that I have my 120 inches here, I also mark it down here. So I'm just going to cut it out. So now I'm going to fold this like this. Now that I have my 120 inches wideness, I'm going to measure out the length. So as you guys can remember, I'm working with 44 inches length. This is including the allowance. So I'm going to be measuring out 44 inches on my fabric. So as you guys can see, this is 45 inches. So what I'm going to do is just to cut out this 1 inch. So now I'm going to set this aside and then start working on the upper part. So guys, to cut out the upper part, our half length measurement, which is also known as the body's measurement, is 16 inches. But I'm not going to be measuring out all the 16 inches because this dress is having like a 3 inches band. So I'll be subtracting my 3 inches band from our shoulder to waist measurement. So what I'll be measuring out is 14 inches. So that means I'm measuring out from our shoulder to under bust. So I'm going to measure out 14 inches. So this here will be like my starting line. And then from here, I'm going to measure out 14 inches. After that, I'm going to measure out our shoulder measurement. So our shoulder measurement is 16. 16 inches divided by 2, which is 8 inches. Now that I've measured out our shoulder measurement, I'm going to, so normally if you are making like a shoulder dress, we normally come down here by ½ inch because of the shoulder slope. But for this dress, for this upper part, there will not be the need of the shoulder slope. We don't need it. So I'm going to measure out our chest line measurement. So our chest line measurement is 7.5 inches. If you don't know how to measure out your chest line measurement, all you need to do is to divide whatever bust circumference you are working with, you divide it by 6. And then whatever that gives you, you add 1½ inches to it. So I'm just going to draw a straight line on my chest line. Then from shoulder, I'm going to measure out a bust point measurement. So from shoulder to our bust point measurement is 10 inches. So I'm going to mark that down. So I'm going to draw a straight line on it. And then from shoulder to under bust, which is the 14 inches you are working with, I'm going to mark that down also. So now that we have this, I'm going to connect from this point to the chest line. So I'm going to connect the shoulder to the chest line. So this is what we have. Now, the next thing for me to do is to get the midpoint of this, so which is this 7.5 inches that we have here. I'm going to get the center of it. So what I'm simply going to do is to fold my tape measurement into 2 like this. And then I'm just going to come in by ½ inch. So on this chest line, I'm going to determine our bust circumference. So our bust measurement is 38 inches. So 38 inches divided by 4, it gives us 9.5. I'll be adding 1½ inches so in allowance to it. So I'm going to be marking down 11 inches all in all. So I'm adding 1½ inches allowance to my 9.5 inches. So this gives us 11 in total. So now I'm going to connect this to this to this to form my armhole. So now that we have the armhole here, I'm going to go ahead and work on the neck area. So for the neck area, from this armhole here, from this shoulder point here, I'm going to come in by 4 inches. And you guys can see that it is a very open dress. The front line is very open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to get like a V-shaped line. So I'm going to come down to this bust point here. This is our bust point here, bust line here. I'm going to go down by 3 inches from this bust line. I'm going to go down by 3 inches and mark it down, just like this. And then I'm going to connect it back to this point here. So as you guys can see, this is what we have now. So now that we have this, I'm going to determine the bust point measurement, so which is from nipple to nipple measurement. So our bust point is 4 inches. So I'm going to measure that on a bust line here. So I'm going to measure the 4 inches. And then for the under bust, here's the thing. I'm going to measure out same 4 inches here like this. And in order for me to get the dart, because I want this to have a very, firm shape, so I'm going to come in by half an inch and go out by 1.5 inches. And then on this bust line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So I will connect my dart to this 1 inch that I came down by. Connect this one to this like this. And then connect this back to this. The reason we are doing this so that the under bust can be very tight and it gives it a very beautiful shape, because you're not going to be wearing bra for this dress and then you're not going to be adding any cup to it. So if you use this method, you're going to have something like this. So you slant this back into this like this. So this is what you have for the dart area. So now I'm going to measure out our bust circumference, which is 11 inches. I'm going to measure it on the bust line as well, 11 inches. And then on this waist, our waist is 30.5. So I'm going to divide at 30.5 divided by 4. So I'm going to mark down whatever it gives me here. So I'm going to be measuring out these 2 inches that we have here. I'm going to bring it back, replace it back to your measurement. And then I will add my 1.5 inches allowance to it. So I'm just going to connect this point together like this. And then I'm going to cut this out. Then I also cut out on the neck area. And also the dart, I'm going to just cut this side out like this. So you guys can see, so when you're taking your dart, you're just going to take it like this. So you can see the shape. It will come out like this after taking the dart. So I'm going to open this up so you guys can see what we have here. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the back area. So guys, for the back, I'm sure you guys are wondering why I cut it like this. So the reason I'm cutting the back to be way lower than the front is because, remember, the belt on the shoulder, it goes all the way in the front. It doesn't go to the back. So it goes all the way. You tie it all the way to your waist, to your back, to however you want it to be. So that is why I stopped this. So now I'm going to make sure my back starts from my chest line. So my back is starting from the chest line, and then for the neck area for the back, I'm going to come down from this chest line. I'm going to come down by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches, and then I'm just going to slant it back into this chest line like this. So this is very, very easy. Just follow what I am doing. Now I'm going to cut this out. So this is the back neckline. And then to determine the dart for the back, so I'm just going to measure out my 1 inch that I added for the zip allowance. And then from this 1 inch, I'm going to measure 4 inches for the dart. Then I will measure 4 inches here as well. So I'm just going to place a notch. So here is the notch. So this is the back. Here is the front. So that by the time I'm joining it together, I'm just going to join the side like this, and then the side like this. I hope you guys can see it very clearly. So I'm just going to join the side like this. Just keep following what I'm doing. You're going to get it by the end of this video. Don't worry. So now I'm going to set this aside and then work on the belt. So for the band of the dress, like I told you guys earlier, that this dress is going to have a band. So what I'm going to do is just fold it like this. Remember that we're going to be adding 3 inches band to this. So I'm going to be marking out my 3 inches band. So I plus 1 inch allowance, making 4 inches, because I'll be using ½ inch to sew it up and down. So making 4 inches. So I'm going to measure out my 4 inches. And then I'm going to measure out our waist measurement. So our waist measurement is 30.5 inches. I'll be adding 2 inches to this because of the zip allowance. So guys, here is the band. As you guys can see that this band is cut on fold. So I'm going to be doubling this band so it can be very thick. I'm still going to iron like a stay or a stay or interfacing into this. So I'll be ironing my interfacing into this so it can be thick and firm. So here is the band, is the waist band for the dress. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to work on the belt for the shoulder area. So for the belt, I'm going to come here and measure what we have here. So what we have here is like 4 inches. So I'm going to cut my 4 inches. So for this belt, you can make it as long as possible, as long as you want. If you want it to be very long, you make it long. If you want it to be medium size, this is totally depends on what you want. So this is my belt. You guys can see that I made it to be as long as possible, and this is because I want her to be able to have options on however she wants to style her belt. So I'm going to set this aside, and then we start joining our dress together. So for the back piece as well, you can either cut lining or you double your fabric. So for me, I'm just going to double my fabric. I'm going to cut the exact piece like this on my fabric again. So we have the lining and the actual fabric. So now let's start joining them together. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and hold my darts, my front darts like this. I'll go ahead and hold them. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this to the sewing machine and join my darts together. I'll hold my front dart and also the back dart. So guys, this is what I have after holding the darts. You can see the shape of the bust and everything. So I also went ahead to hold the back darts. Like this. So the next thing for me to do is to use my lining to turn the back together like this. So I'm just going to stitch this and flip it to the right side like this. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to attach the belt. So for the belt, I'm just going to take one of these. Remember this belt that we cut earlier? Remember we cut two, one for this side and one for this side. So now I'm going to take my belt and then I will attach it to my shoulder like this. I'll take it to the sewing machine and run a straight stitch to connect my belt together with this shoulder that we have here. And then I will do same thing. So I'm just going to use my pin to hold them together. So I will repeat same thing for this side. Use my pin to hold them together. So I will take this to the sewing machine and stitch them, run a straight stitch on these two like this. And then after that, I will fold the hem. I will secure it by folding it in once and fold it in again all the way through this top part. I will also fold the neck area and also the armhole area. So I will show you guys after securing the hem together. So guys, this is what we have now after joining the belt together, and I also went ahead to stitch the sides and everything. So the next thing to do is to join the two sides together. So I'm going to take the back and then I'm going to join it together. So the front side and the back side. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and join the two sides together and also join the two sides together. So guys, this is what we have after joining the sides together. This is what it's looking like. So the next thing to do is to attach the band to this top part. So what you're going to do is just to get the center of your band. So you place notch at the center of your band like this. And then don't forget to iron your stay into your band. And then I'm going to iron my stay into my band, and then after that I'm going to place the center of this to the center of the top here like this, and then I'm going to run a straight stitch on it. So I'm going to do that and then I'll show you guys after joining them together. So guys, this is what we have now. So you can as well leave this as a top. You can leave this as a crop top, but because we are making a dress, we'll be attaching the pleat to this. So this is what we have. You guys can see how nice this is looking already. Like, I'm loving this already. So now we're going to attach the down part to this. I'm going to get the center of this fabric and then I'll place a notch on this like this. I'll place my down part on the upper part like this. Use my pin to hold them together. Before I start pleating, I'm going to leave 1.5 inches for the zip allowance. So I'm going to leave it. So that means I'm starting my pleat from here. So what I'm going to do is just to take this to the sewing machine and pleat it. So it depends on the type of pleat you want. So I will be going for a small pleat. I'm going to pleat it like this, like this, like this. Just make sure whatever you are pleating it's enough to go all the way to the back. So in order for it to make it easier for me, I'm going to take the center of this and then use my pin to hold the center of this down part and the center of this upper part together. So I'm just going to do this so that when I'm pleating, by the time I get to this side, I know that I'm on the right size and I'm using the right measurement. So I will do that all the way to the end of the waist. So I'm going to do that all the way to the end of the waist. So I'm going to pleat this and then I will show you guys the results after. So guys, this is what we have. You guys can see the pleat is there already. The upper part with the belt. This is a very beautiful style. This is a very beautiful dress. So you can either leave it like this, or if you're adding a slit, the way I'm adding it in this video, then I will show you guys how to cut out your slit. But you can also leave it like this. This is a very, very beautiful dress. But if you want to add a slit, it's okay. I will show you guys. And also, this is the back. I will go ahead and overlock the inside. So this is the back. This is where the zip will be. I already went ahead to join them together at the back. So I opened up this place for the zip. So this is my zipper allowance. So I will show you guys how to add slit to this. So your slit is always on your dart side. It's either you put it on the right or on the left. Depends on what you want. So this is our dart. Remember the dart. So this is the dart. So I'm just going to make sure that my slit starts from the line of the dart. Like this. So I don't know how long or how open you want your slit to be. That will depend on what you want. So I'm just going to open up the slit to the desired length of this person. That's what I'm going to do. You can just open it up. So make sure that you're opening your slit is exactly on your dart. Where your dart is, make sure your slit is exactly on that point. So you can just see that I'm just tracing it all the way down. This is how open she wants it to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So here is the slit. So what I'm going to do is that I'm not just going to open it straight like this. I open it straight so I can get the accurate measurement. Now the next thing for me to do is to hold my two slits like this. Like this. I'm just going to curve it from this side like this. And the reason I'm curving these areas is that the slit will show very well. If you just open it straight, when you are standing, it may not really be obvious that there is slit there. But if you curve it like this, it's going to show that there is slit there. So I'm just going to open it up like this. And then I repeat same thing for this side. So guys, this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and fold the sides, secure the hem like this all the way around. I will also fold the down part and also attach the zip. So that's basically it, guys.
So guys, here is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.